Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This video is going to be explaining my favourite subclass builds for PvE and PvP for the Warlock class. For PvE, I'm going to be using the Sunsinger subclass. Okay, so to start off with, I love all three of the grenades. Solar grenade, you throw it, enemies trapped inside get continuously damaged. Firebolt grenade, you throw it, it tags 3 enemies and either kills them or takes most of their health off. Fusion grenades are a little bit different. You don't really want to be using these on low health targets, you want to be using them for high health targets, and you have to stick them to get the bonus damage. Okay, so for the glide, which is the jump, I like to use focus burst. There's 2 reasons for this. Say you're doing the jumping puzzle on the King's Fall and you have to move between 2 moving ships. I like focus burst because it gets me there quicker. The other reason is you can skate with the Warlock like you can on a Titan. It's not as fast, but you can still do it and it's still relatively effective. So not much needs to be said for the middle tree for Radiance. For PvE, you are going to be wanting to use Fireborn simply because if you die and you have Radiance, you will come back to life and you will use your super. So for example, dead, Radiance, back alive, and for a time limit all my abilities are charging relatively fast. Moving on to melee, which is Scorch. I always use Flame Shield. The reason for this is because it gives you an overshield, so like similar to a Blessing of Light overshield. So if you're being damaged by an enemy and you're low health, you can rush them and just melee them to get the overshield to allow you a chance to recover your health. For the overall build of the Warlock for PvE, I like to run max armor with high recovery and low agility. The reason for this is just because the Warlock can tank a lot of damage, and then if it's taking damage and needs to recover, you can use Flame Shield and then hide in the corner and regen your health. Now, Radiant will increase the duration of Radiance. This is going to go well with Gift of the Sun, gain an additional grenade. When you use your self-res and you come back alive, this just means that the amount of time you have to throw your grenades whilst they're recharging fast is longer. And the fact that you have 2 grenades means that you don't have to wait for as long for your grenades to be charged, because whilst you're using one, the backup is being charged. So they're constantly being charged and constantly being refilled. But that about wraps it up for the PvE side of things, so we'll look at the PvP. Okay, so for PvP, again, I like to use the Sunsinger subclass. However, I only use 1 grenade on this class. I use the Firebolt grenade. This is because I personally mostly play only 3 versus 3 modes such as Trials, so the fact that the Firebolt can tag 3 people means that I don't really need anything more. But also because if you combine Firebolt grenade with Viking Funeral, enemies you ignite burn longer and take more damage, and Touch of Flame, all grenades ignite enemies. Firebolt grenade not only takes off the entire overshield of a Guardian and most of their health, but it ticks, so it does the damage in a ticking motion, so it doesn't just straight up damage them and take off all of that health. It ticks it off over time, doing like a small number of damage, and it will go off every second, I think it is. And this takes the Guardian out of the fight for a very long time, because they have to sit down in the corner and wait for the ticking to go down, and then for them to regen their health. So this gives you an advantage and allows you to push. I keep the jump the same, simply because you get to move around the map faster and skate. For the super, this is very dependent on the game mode. I've got self-res on at the moment. Self-res is very dependent because there are, I'd say, 1 in every 2 Trials games I use self-res and I own the other team because they weren't covering my orb, and I just go and kill them all because I can just use my grenades over and over. Other times I don't even use it because they're just watching my orb, and if you self-res it's really easy to get a 1-hit kill with a sniper. You can also use Radiant Skin whilst active Radiance reduces incoming damage. This just basically turns you into a huge tank, so you could use this in the middle of a round and just take loads of damage and throw grenades. Both are useful for different situations. still using Flame Shield because you can just jump in and just melee, and even if they shotgun you or melee you back, you'll have more health, and when you get the second melee off, you'll get the kill. I keep the same overall build, lots of armor and recovery. This is the same for most. You want this for most of your characters in the game. Armor and recovery are going to be a lot more important than agility most of the time, except for certain places in PvE like the King's Fall jumping puzzles. Again, Viking Funeral matched with Touch of Flame just means the grenades burn and take more damage. So the other two classes aren't bad for PvP, but I just don't value them that much. I'm not a big fan of Voidwalker, and the fact that to use your super you have to run into the enemies and you don't have that much of a health increase. It's very easy to kill a Voidwalker as they're using Nova Bomb. Stormcaller's good. I really like the super. I think it's a brilliant super. It's very easy to get kills. It's very fun to use. I just don't value anything else about the class. I don't think any other aspects of it are good. However, Voidwalker does have Blink, so if you're a big fan of teleporting around the map, or having an easy way to jump away from enemies if you have to pull off a 1v3 clutch, then this is going to be the subclass for you, but I personally use a Sunsinger. So if you liked anything in the video, comment below, and if you'd like to see any more videos or have video ideas, comment as well.